Could an economy survive without interest? Today, the world stands on interest. But here is the real question. Could an economic system survive without interest? Today, the global economy revolves around one thing: money, interest, debt, growth. But there is a question we almost never ask. What is money actually for? Now I want to take you back 1,400 years, to a world in the middle of deserts, with no banks, no central banks, yet full of trade, debt, and wealth. This video is not a romantic history story. This is the story of an economic system that actually worked. At that time, agriculture in Arabia was limited. Life depended on trade. There were merchant caravans traveling from land to land. Trade routes stretched from Mecca to Damascus, from Mecca to Yemen. And within this system, one man grew up, Muhammad. Before prophethood, he was a merchant. He did not just understand the market, he lived inside it. This is a very important detail, because the economic order he established was not a theory written at a table. It was a system shaped by real life. During this period, the economy was free. People traded. They bought and sold. They made profit. But not everything was free. Cheating was forbidden. False weights were forbidden. Hoarding was forbidden. Monopoly was forbidden. Usury was forbidden. The system was saying something very clear. You can earn, but not by crushing others. The state did not set prices, but it did not allow immorality either. This was a free market limited by ethics. Now we come to the most critical point: interest. There was no interest in this system. Money could not generate money by itself, because interest does this. Those who take no risk win. Those who do not work win. Those in hardship are pushed even further down. That is why debt was not a tool of exploitation. It was a tool of solidarity. If there was profit, risk was shared. This logic is completely different from today's financial system. So how was wealth balanced? This is where zakat comes in. Zakat was not only a religious duty, it was also an economic balancing mechanism. Wealth was prevented from accumulating endlessly at the top. It was redirected toward the lower layers of society. Widows and orphans, those in debt, travelers stranded on the road, those unable to work. These people were not excluded from the system. They were part of it. Because according to this understanding, a society is only as strong as its weakest member. The state also had a treasury, Bait al-Mal. But this treasury was not the personal wealth of rulers. Collected resources were used for public services, for the poor, for the shared needs of society. So money did not flow from top to bottom. It circulated within society. In this system, luxury was not praised. Excessive accumulation, showmanship, waste. These were not signs of power. The most valuable thing was this: labor. The worker's right was sacred. Wages were not delayed. Unjust gain was not considered legitimate. Because money was not the goal, it was a tool. Now let's stop and think. Why did this system work? Because people were perfect? No. Because technology was advanced? No, it worked because ethics were at the center. The economy did not exist to crush people. It existed to keep people standing. Today, we live the opposite. People dissolve inside the economy. Debt has become normal. Interest has become central to life. Wealth is trapped in narrow hands. And we still avoid asking the same question. Who does money serve? This video is not saying, let's go back to the past, but it reminds us of something important. Another economic logic once existed, and it worked. The real question is this: is today's problem the system itself, or the values behind it? If this video gave you a new perspective, share your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes, the biggest change begins by asking the question again: